Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 16th, and today I listened to Thriller by Michael Jackson. We've talked about some albums that sold pretty well, but Thriller went beyond selling well. It sold better than any other album in the history of albums, with confirmed 50 million sales. It wasn't just the album, the singles did incredibly too. It set a new record for the most top 10 hits from one album with 7, 2 of them hitting number 1. And that accomplishment with the singles was arguably overshadowed by his next album, Bad. This album changed the music industry with the way that people looked at singles, music videos, and promotion, and made Michael Jackson one of the biggest stars in the world. I listened to Thriller today, and my first impression was that these are some very tightly produced songs. The way that they're written, the way that they're mixed, the way that they're produced, it's all very meticulous and precise. It makes sense that these songs are still remembered today. It's like they were made in a factory to make the catchiest, most poppy songs ever. This album had 9 songs, 7 of which were released as singles, and all those singles made it to the top 10, so this might have the highest hit to non-hit ratio of any album ever. And right in the middle of the album, you have the trilogy of Thriller, Beat It, and Billie Jean. This album has a kind of rise and fall to it, with the most action taking place with those middle 3 songs. Out of all the songs from Thriller, my favorite is Beat It. I think it strikes the best balance between that super tight pop sound and a sort of dangerous vibe and intensity. The guitar riff is super catchy, the vocal melody is super catchy, this entire song is an earworm. But there's also kind of a looseness and an edge to it. The titular track is also amazing. It's kind of hard to think about Thriller without thinking of the music video as well, but just as a song, it's very well done. It has a good bass line, good synth, and that spoken word thing at the end by Vincent Price is an amazing touch. Next, we got the question of, were there songs on Thriller that I didn't like? Yes, absolutely. I thoroughly disliked The Girl Is Mine. It made me uncomfortable in a way I haven't felt since I listened to Flower from Exile in Guyville. Even if you remove the hindsight and just look at it in a vacuum, this is a very creepy, unsettling song. Especially that part with the really deep voice. Aside from that, there are other songs in this album that just aren't that interesting, like The Lady in My Life. And while for the most part I did like Wanna Be Starting Something, there was this really weird part in the middle where it got super busy and there was a bunch of different things happening at once. And while I'm trying my best to separate the art from the artist, hindsight paints songs such as Billie Jean and PYT in a bit of a different light. So overall, do I think that Thriller holds up? Musically, I think it's pretty decent. Those 3 songs in the middle are very tightly produced, very well made. I understand why they became such huge hits. But I think even more than that, it holds up in the way that it was marketed and the way that it sold. Because it was one of the first albums to use music videos as serious promotional tools. Before there was Lady Gaga and Madonna, there was Michael Jackson. And as music, well, I don't think the album is amazing. It is a very interesting listen. And if you haven't heard it, it's not bad. And that wraps up today's episode. I'll see you tomorrow.